That's what it is. Biggie's our man at the Conclave. He's not actually there, but he has an incredible factoid for you about the Pope. I will say this.
We had Black Smoke 35 minutes ago.
We've had Black Smoke now twice. Reaction to Black Smoke the first time around. Tourists were on hand to see not just the Pope being elected, but even there for Black Smoke. One woman from Pennsylvania was there with her teenage daughter, and the 15-year-old, after seeing the Black Smoke, said this.
Kind of underwhelmed, but it was a cool experience. It was cool to be here.
I mean, they stood around all day looking at the chimney. And,
Not a real Catholic.
Well, I would imagine you're just going to get people who happen to be in Italy. You know, just saying, "Hey, we got an extra day in Rome. Let's wander over to the Vatican and see what we can see."
I agree, but last night I was watching Inside Edition, and they interviewed people who specifically flew over to be. I mean, they weren't taking a vacation; they decided to take a vacation.
They are the faithful.
I guess there's a lot of people there, and these folks are from the United States, from Florida, and they were standing there in the Vatican when the Black Smoke was released. But they're going to stay all the way. I mean, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Unless it takes a year, you know. I mean, sometimes it does take a long time. They're thinking by tomorrow or the next day, we may have a new pope. This is that teenager's mom.
I feel like I expected it. With it being the first vote, I was expecting the black smoke. Still would have been awesome to see the white smoke.
It would have been great. It was not. They're moving on.
Yeah, we got white smoke. I hope to see white smoke, but we got black smoke. It's okay.
And they were there all day. And apparently the crowd started chanting and cheering.
Do they do that kind of thing? Is it more of a football class soccer atmosphere, or is it more reverent? Do they do a rosary, which is pretty common in the Catholic?
Well, what I heard it described as was football, soccer type thing.
I think before it used to be more the crowd was, you'd look, it's nuns praying, doing the rosary. Now I think it's more of kind of a tourist. Hey, if you're there, and some people, like you said, do go. I saw a family interviewed yesterday that just happened to be in Rome who were Catholic.
So you're going.
Catholic.
You're going.
Yeah, and they were like, of course we had to come by and be here for this.
See it for the smoke. Speaking of football, this went viral. This is how in the future, this is how they'll pick the Pope.
With the number 1 pick in the 2025 National Catholic League Pope Draft, the Saints have traded to the Cardinals, and with that number 1 pick, the Vatican Cardinals select wide redeemer Pier Battista Pizzaballa, Jerusalem.
Oh, boy! Listen to this crowd. Oh, baby.
We'll be talking about that one for a while.
That's Pizzaballa, not a made-up name.
Pizzaballa's real.
That's a real cardinal.
That would be a long shot.
Yes.
He could become the Pope Pizzaballa. Then you got Pope Pizza. Biggie is our man on Conclave.
Yes.
Give us your factoid.
Well, 2 things. I have 2 factoids. Well, one's just kind of some news from yesterday. I can't reveal my sources of how I got this news, but I'm hearing there is a language barrier.
Okay.
Inside the conclave.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first time most cardinals speak Italian, but there are several new cardinals who this was their first trip to the Vatican, period, and they don't speak Italian.
Okay.
So
can they not have some sort of translation?
Well, I would almost think so at this point, because they made all these people take an oath of secrecy, including the Vatican florist, by the way. So the person who brings in the flowers, they were like, "Listen, buddy.
Yep.
You happen to hear anything, you never repeat it."
They do have Google Translate, but you can't have your phone in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But doesn't it seem like they would have headphones on with somebody translate like they do at the UN?
I would think so at this point. Maybe
not doing it.
Yeah, not yet. Also, I know they had a light pasta dinner last night.
Okay.
What's your source? Can you reveal?
Can't reveal these sources.
All right. I like it.
Was it a broad noodle? Was it a thin noodle?
I'm assuming thin noodle.
I just read a thing that said, this is what foreigners appreciate about Americans. Things that foreigners really like about Americans. And one was, I love that Americans have developed a salad where the main ingredient is pasta.
Yeah,
we did that.
Absolutely. It's the best salad.
We did that. Yeah, a pasta salad.
Now, the factoid of factoids.
This is the one I'm going to love.
This is the one that Chris Kelly might fall out of his chair because this is so up his alley. And this is definitely one that Chris Demm is going to lose a bunch of respect for.
Yeah.
For some Cardinals, frankly.
Yes.
Many of the Cardinals, who this is their first conclave, were not familiar with how the conclave worked. So they got together and watched Conclave.
Yeah.
Oh, my
That's
God.
right. I love it. I love it.
As soon as I heard this factoid, I said,
Yes.
this is what Chris Kelly dreams of.
Movie imitates life. We're watching it now. Why? Because
That is frankly embarrassing for the Catholic Church
the conclave.
and the faithful globally. And I'm talking to you Hindus, Buddhists.
This is playing out exactly as I pictured it in my mind.
The fact that they watched it is wonderful. That is
Yeah.
because I watched it and I know so much more about
Bingo.
it now. And they were
Why didn't they watch Nuns on the Run then?
maybe if
Okay.
they have a little extra time with their downtime.
I don't know how long their plane flights
Sister
were.
Act 2.
Yes, Sister Act, back in the habit.
Yeah.
Yes, they could watch these things to figure something out.
I can't reveal my sources, but some of the newer Cardinals got together, said, you need to check this movie out.
Yeah, there's a good one.
What's your password? I got no Wi-Fi.
Can I borrow your
That Ray Fiennes, he making me cry. He's so good.
Who has a Peacock account?
Ray Fiennes has been interviewed 100 times on this thing. Eventually, I think he just
For the last time, I don't know what happened.
I like everything about the movie, but at the end.
Yeah, spoiler at the end.
A very unneeded twist at the end.
Real big twist at the end. I think Ray Fiennes probably. It's like when anytime a boat runs aground, they go to Kathy Bates,
That's right.
and she says, "Look, I wasn't really.
Look, I was in a movie about the Titanic
Why are you asking?
25 years ago,
Yeah,
30 years ago.
Exactly.
I'd like to remind everyone I'm not a real prig.
Remember when the Kathy Bates a ship had run aground, and it was awful.
Was this is this the cruise ship off of Italy?
Yes.
Years ago. And so they went to Kathy Bates and said, "Well, you were on Titanic. Why don't you?"
I wasn't.
I wasn't.
But she did have a factoid.
Yes, she did.
A friend of mine, my best friend actually, was on that cruise ship. Not this time, but like a year ago.
Oh, well, you're still no good to us. Oh, great.
The future Lady Matlock went on to say some things. That,
You mean the one that docked safely? Yes. Where they filed off in a single file?
yeah.
Yes.
She had a wonderful time. Bought your souvenirs, took a lot of pics.
Yeah. Then you're really no good to us now. This is the one that just crashed. This is what we're wanting to know about. I heard something interesting yesterday about the conclave. To make the white smoke, and I only saw it in a blurb. I'm watching Inside Edition on this. And they said, what's the secret ingredient to the white smoke? And the answer was sugar. They have to put sugar in with the...
Interesting.
But you had said they just push a button. Maybe it's, I don't know how it works, but they said they have to add sugar to whatever's being burned, and then it turns white.
So they're not literally, are they still literally burn the ballots? That's what they
in Conclave,
did
in the movie,
1,000 years ago.
In the movie,
I think
yes.
they burn the ballots, but I don't
That's
think...
not the resulting smoke?
Yeah, the smoke you see, I think, is now automatically fired off. Yeah.
Well, one of the wherever the vestibules has sugar in it, and that's what makes it white.
Yeah.
And I guess they push that button when they want.
Everything is so automated now. You know, the whole deal is when a new pope is elected, all the bells in Rome will ring.
Yeah.
And, you know, now that's all, there's 109 bells. And last night I saw an interview with the man who basically got them all. He hits one button and it's all 109 at the same time.
We've let robots take our job.
That's right.
He did.
That's right.
We had to let it go 180 bell ringers.
And that one guy, by the way, he's rung every bell in Rome. He's been.
Yeah.
I saw his interview as well, and he's like, "I've been on top of these towers. I've rung."
His story was very cool.
Yes, he was a musician. He is a musician. He plays the organ there in one of the big, maybe the Vatican. Hell, I don't know. And he said, "They said you gonna ring the bells?" He's like, "Well, I can't jump from tower to tower, but I'm gonna push the button that rings the bells."
Yep, all 109 one time. Boom.
Yep. And they said, "Oh, it's automated now." He goes, "Yeah, but I've been up on every tower in the city."
Yeah, but you just press a button now. Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, now.
now. You think his button pushing finger? He got a blood blister like mine?
You haven't popped that thing yet?
I can't get to it.
What's wrong with
I
it?
It's going to stay that way. I'm going to have a black mark on my finger.
How did you receive that?
Removing a staple.
Yeah.
And your pickling has it affected your pickling?
Of course, I'm awful.
Can you grip your racket?
I'm awful. I'm terrible.
It'll be the first thing the new pope prays for.
Touch his finger.
He'll be the first one he heals.
Yes. There was a news anchor covering the conclave, And he said something that some didn't understand. They thought it was a raunchy moment. It really was not.
The one thing we know they're not doing is checking Instagram because their devices have all been confiscated.
I believe the kids call it raw dogging it if you're going to go through a long period of time with no electronic device.
Yeah. Oh, right.
That's right.
Please don't bring up a raw dog in the Catholic Church. Even as a joke.
Raw dogging is now looking straight ahead with no devices during a flight.
No distractions.
There's a new term for it. If you're on a train or a subway, no devices. You look straight ahead the entire time, or a bus, and that's called barebacking. So same type
Please
thing.
don't bring up bareback.
These are words we cannot have.
No, that used to refer to sex without a condom, raw dogging, barebacking.
Or riding a horse without a saddle back in my day.
Riding a horse without a saddle. Now it refers to traveling without an electronic device.
Who wrote this on the ballot?
Look, when news breaks, we're going to get in here.
Heck yeah.
To tell you if we've got a new pope.
Should we sponsor the Conclave segment, like by Traeger Grill or
We
whatever?
should. Yes.
Oh, we should have.
You want to smoke your meat?
Exactly. Yes, we'll have white smoke, black smoke. It'll do either. Traeger grills.